Let's talk about the thing nobody wants to name. The hunger that lives beneath your skin. The ache that won't let you rest. The thing you reach for in the dark. The thing you use to fill the silence. The thing that numbs you just enough to survive another day in a world that's never made space for the way that you feel. Let's talk about addiction. The way it starts. Innocent almost, just a sip, just a hit, just a bite, just a scroll, just a call, just a night. It's harmless until it isn't. It's fun until it's not. One day, you wake up and realize you can't go a single day without chasing that feeling, without scratching that itch, without that rush, that oblivion. One day you look in the mirror and you don't even recognize the person staring back at you. And the world loves to judge. They love to point fingers, to whisper, to turn addiction into a punchline, a cautionary tale, a reason to stay safely numb themselves. They call it weakness. They call it a lack of willpower, a moral failing, a personal flaw. If you just tried harder, they tell you. If you just wanted it enough, if you just believed, just prayed, just pulled yourself up by whatever bootstraps you have left. But what do they know about the kind of pain that lives deep within your bones? What do they know about the kind of emptiness that echoes in your chest, the kind of loneliness that makes you crawl out of your own skin at 3 a.m. just to find a little peace? Addiction is not about weakness. Addiction is about intensity. It's about feeling everything too deeply, too loudly, too much for one body, one life, one reality. Addiction is the body's way of reaching for God in a world that wants you numb. It's the soul's way of saying, I know there's more than this. I know there's something bigger, something higher, something that will finally make me whole. You don't get addicted because you're broken. You get addicted because you are a seeker, because your spirit is too wild, too sensitive, too awake, to settle for a half-lived life. You get addicted because you remember somewhere in your soul what it felt like to be whole, and you do anything to get back there, even if it means burning your life to the ground in the process. Nobody tells you how much time you'll spend trying to fill that hole. Nobody tells you how many things you'll try. Substances, people, money, attention, chaos, control. Anything to quiet the noise. Anything to numb the ache. Most people will never understand that addiction isn't about the drug or the drink or the body or the dopamine hit. It's about the void. It's about the hunger. It's about the wound that never seems to heal, no matter how much you pour into it. And for chosen ones, for people who are marked, who are awake, who carry the weight of the world in their chest, that void is bigger. That hunger is louder. That wound is deeper. It's not a coincidence. It's a sign. It's confirmation, proof that you are chosen, that you carry something in you the world doesn't know how to hold. The test of addiction isn't just about survival, it's about revelation. It's about stripping you down to the bone so you can finally meet yourself face to face. It's about making you so desperate, so empty, so cracked open that you have no choice but to let the light in. Addiction is crucible, the fire, the dark night of the soul. It's God asking you, how bad do you want to live? How much are you willing to lose before you remember who you are? Addiction will take everything from you. It will take your money, your sleep, your self-respect. It will make you lie, steal, sell pieces of your soul for another hit, another high, another night, where you don't have to feel how lost you really are. It will put you on your knees, begging for mercy, begging for release. It will make you hate yourself, hate your body, hate your weakness, hate your hunger. It will make you believe you are unworthy of love, of peace, of forgiveness. It will make you forget who you are. But here's what you need to know. The wound is where the light gets in. The struggle was the test. The relapses, the shame, the lies, the rock bottoms, that was all initiation. That was God burning away your illusions, stripping you of your ego, teaching you what it means to surrender. That was your spirit learning its limits, pushing against the cage, screaming to be free. The longer you fight it, the harder it gets. The more you deny it, the more power it has. So what if, just for a moment, you stop fighting? What if you stop pretending you're not who you are? What if you looked at your addiction not as a curse, but as a map, as a compass pointing you home? What if every time you fail, you saw it as a lesson, a message, and an invitation to come back to yourself? Addiction is proof that your spirit is awake. It's proof that you're searching for something real. It's proof you're allergic to mediocrity, to numbness, to the dull ache of an unlived life. The world would always try to shame you for it, but you were never meant to fit the mold. You were never meant to be safe, to be easy, to be contained. You were meant to feel, to want, to burn. You were meant to go to the edge and come back with stories to tell. People will say you need balance. They'll say you need discipline, structure, boundaries, and maybe you do. But they don't know what it's like to wake up every day with your soul on fire, desperate for something that doesn't exist in this world. They don't know what it's like to carry a hunger so big it can swallow you whole. They don't know what it's like to look for God in a bottle, in a body, in a pill, in a prayer, and still come up empty. They don't know what it's like to be chosen. The truth is, you survived. Maybe you're still surviving. Maybe you're still in the middle of it, clawing your way toward the light, one day at a time. But that doesn't make you weak. That doesn't make you any less. That makes you chosen. That makes you proof that transformation is possible. That makes you living evidence that the divine lives in the darkest places too. Addiction will humble you. It will break you in all the places you thought you were strong. It will show you parts of yourself you never wanted to see, but if you let it, it will also show you your power. It will show you your resilience. It will show you the depth of your hunger for life, for truth, for love. It will make you honest. It will make you compassionate. It will make you real. You don't have to be ashamed of your struggle. You don't have to hide your scars. Your addiction is not proof of your brokenness. It's proof that you are meant for more. It's proof that your soul was never meant to settle. It's proof that you are chosen. So if you're listening to this, if you're hurting, if you're fighting the same battle day after day, know this, family. You are not alone. You are not lost. You are not a mistake. You are on a journey of remembering who you really are. The world may never understand, but you do. Your spirit does. God does. You're being tested because you're meant to rise. You're being stripped down because you're meant to be rebuilt. You're being broken open so something holy can move through you. The actions of your past, the things you did to survive, the ways you tried to fill the void, They weren't failures. They were sacred exchanges. Every time you went back to the source, every time you reached for relief, every time you crashed and burned, you were learning something about yourself that can't be taught in the light. You were discovering the limits of your strength, the depths of your hunger, the truth of your spirit. You were learning what it means to be human. You were learning what it means to be chosen. At first glance, your past might look like a graveyard of wasted chances, broken promises, and lost years. But if you look a little closer, you'll see the resurrection. Every time you got back up, every time you tried again, every time you chose life over oblivion, you were reclaiming your power. You were rewriting your story. You are becoming the storm and the shelter, the wound and the healer, the fire and the water. This is not the end of your story. This is the middle, the messy, beautiful, brutal middle where everything is still possible. You don't have to regret what you did to survive. You don't have to apologize for the ways you tried to cope. The divine feminine, the divine masculine, the divine chaos in you, they were never meant to be tamed. They were meant to be lived, to be honored, to be held. And I need you to hear this. God has not turned away from you, not for a second. Not on your darkest night, not at your lowest bottom, not when you were using, not when you were lying, not when you were lost. God's love is the one thing you can't lose, no matter how far you run or how many times you fall. There is absolutely nothing you could do. No wound you can carry, no mistake you can make that would make you unlovable to God. Addiction is not disqualification. It's not a mark against your name. If anything, it's proof that you've been fighting demons most people will never have to face. It's proof that you walked through the fire and live to tell about it. And when you're ready, when you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, when you're done running, when you're so empty you can't keep pretending, God is there, waiting. Not with shame, not with punishment, but with arms wide open, with mercy and with grace and with a love that doesn't keep score. You are not too far gone. You are not damaged goods. You are not beyond help. God is in the business of resurrection, of taking what the world calls dead and bringing it back to life, of taking the addict and turning them into the healer, of taking what nearly destroyed you and using it to save someone else. There is nothing wasted in the economy of God. Not your pain, not your struggle, not your scars. Every single piece of your story can be turned into light. So if you're listening to this and you're still in it, if you're still fighting, still aching, still chasing relief in all the wrong places, I want you to know you can always come home. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to be clean or perfect or strong. You just have to be willing. You just have to be honest. You just have to let yourself be loved, and God will do the rest. And it's not about never failing again. It's about knowing who to reach for when you do. It's about letting God love you in the mess, not just in the miracle. It's about letting yourself be seen fully, flaws and all, and believing that's enough because it is. Because you are. God doesn't love you less because you struggle. God doesn't love you less because you coped the only way you knew how. God loves you because you're His. Because you survived, because you're still here, still trying, still listening for the sound of grace in the middle of your chaos. You don't have to carry shame for what you did to survive in this world. You don't have to apologize for your scars. You don't have to hide your hunger or pretend your wounds aren't real. God sees it all. The pain, the need, the longing, and loves you right there. I want you to understand that you are the assignment. You are the lesson. You are the trigger. You are the portal. Now, before we close, I want you to give yourself a moment if you can. I want you to place a hand on your chest, on your stomach, or wherever you feel that ache, that hunger, that shame, that longing. And I'm telling you, do not flinch away from it. Don't try to hide it or stuff it down. I want you to just be with it. Now take a deep breath, deep and slow. I want you to inhale through your nose as if you're pulling the whole world into your body, and I want you to hold it. You hold it and you let it stretch you wide open. I want you to exhale through your mouth, slow and steady. And as you're exhaling, I want you to let something go with it. And I want you to do that again and again and again, as many times as you need. Now I want you to say this out loud if you can, but if you can't, I just want you to say it in your head. I forgive myself for everything I didn't know. I forgive myself for who I was when I was hurting. I forgive myself for what I gave away and for what I kept locked up. I forgive myself for needing more, for craving escape, for being hungry for something real. I forgive myself for the days I hated my own reflection. I honor the seeker in me, the one who never stopped searching for home. I honor the survivor in me, the one who kept going when it made no sense. I honor the chosen in me, the one who is still becoming, still rising, still here. I am not my addiction. I am not my shame. I am proof that the divine lives in me too. God loves me. God claims me. I am never too far gone. Let those words settle. Let them sink in all the way in. You don't have to believe every line right now, but if you say it enough, eventually your soul will remember for you. Now carry this word with you, chosen one. The world would always try to make you forget, but you can always come back here. You can always come back to God every single time. And when that hunger roars, when the shame bites, when the loneliness threatens to swallow you, remember, you are not alone, family. You are not alone. You are not wrong in your struggle. You are not too much. You are never beyond help. You are proof that God never stopped creating. Thank you for being here. Thank you for surviving. Thank you for still loving. Thank you for letting God find you even here. Now, as always, family, I love you, but God loves you more. Now go pray, and I'ma holler at you next week.